What are you looking at? Hey, kia ora, Helen, Brahms here, coming to you live from, where are we? We are in Rossville, Georgia, which is just on the outskirts of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yep, we moved camp today, so hope you've all had a super fantastic sparkling day. Let's check in, see how you did with your challenges today. Your mindset challenge was, oh, that's what you're whining at. She wants to go make a new friend. Look at this. She's on her bed at the window there, wanting to go make a new friend. Oh, poor baby. We'll go out for a walk in a moment. So your mindset challenge was all about perspective. Did you have a change on perspective on how you're looking at certain things and able to get change the way you think something and looked at something in a completely different light, and did it have a different feel for you? On your business one, how did you go with your setting your goals for this week? And on your fun one, Zeffie, it's okay, sweetie girl. What fun facts did you learn today? Oh, I got a bunch that we will share with you later. This poor guy out here is torturing my dog. He's decided to let his dog do its business right out here in front of our RV. Poor Zeff. Well, Zeffie's now in her toy box. Look, this is how we select our toys. We burrow until we find what we're looking for. And then we go crazy. If she's not allowed outside, she will go play. So what fun facts did you learn today? So we'll tell you a few fun facts that we've learned about Chattanooga in a moment. But we got on the road a lot later than we anticipated. I was planning to be at Walmart by 9 o'clock this morning. We didn't leave the campground till 10:15. It took us 15 minutes to get over to the Walmart to where it was. Only because we're going these narrow, windy roads to get there. Because we had to go that way to get to the freeway. And then we just dipped under the freeway and over to the Walmart. I was there inside probably about an hour getting our shopping done and everything else, and got some cleaning supply. Got cleaning supplies. They had cleaning supplies available. It was awesome. You'd walk along the shelves and there was a stuff called toilet paper sitting on the shelves. I had no idea what it was. Go figure. I was trying to figure out what this white stuff was that was in these small rolls, and they had a lot of it on the shelves. It was strange. Yes, and then you turn around go down the cleaning aisle, and it's sort of like, and there are certain cleaners I can use in the RV and certain cleaners I can't. I go down down the aisle, and there's all these bottles of disinfectant and bleach. Wow, hadn't seen those in a very long time. It's always interesting to go walking down the walking in a market these days, just to see, what the pandemic has caused people to stockpile, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, in the Walmart that I was in today, there was toilet paper on the thing, there was bottles of bleach, a lot of bottles of bleach, there was bottles of Pine Sol and other disinfectants. They even had their generic brand there. I was sort of like, whoa, what is all this stuff? Normally you go towards a cleaning aisle and there's nothing on the shelf. There's like these bare patches on the shelves. Although laundry detergent seemed to be in very short supply. I did notice that. Yes, you could get a lot of bleach, first laundry bleach. You could get a lot of fabric softener, but laundry detergent itself was in very short supply on the shelves. So it was very interesting. So I got back to the RV, bought everything in. Zeffie thought it was like Christmas. She's got her nose buried into just about every bag there was. Put some of the stuff away, like the fridge and freezer stuff, got that stuff away immediately. The rest of it went on the bed. And it's still sitting, and it got moved out here to be put away, because I thought, I'm not going to waste the time putting it away. It doesn't need refrigeration. It doesn't need to be in the freezer. So the stuff that does will get put away right now, and then we could go. So and it was so hot and muggy outside, and of course inside the RV it was really hot and muggy as well. And I'd left Zeffie in here with some food and water and stuff. But by the time I got in here and got everything in, because of all the exertion of all the energy and everything else, because the Walmart's down here and the RV's parked up here, we actually had to walk up an incline pushing the cart. And I was just so hot and sweaty, I was just sort of like, I need to put the AC on. So I fired up the generator, which I know I'm supposed to do once a month, and I haven't done it since January. Yeah. And put one of the AC units on so we could at least get some cold air running and stuff. And there was this really weird smell. I figured it's probably because it hasn't been on for a while. And so we finished packing everything up. The generator had been on 15 minutes, going meant to run it like 15 to 30 minutes once a month. And so I turned it all off, got ready to go. I got Zeffy buckled in, sat in the driver's seat. We're all ready to go and everything else. And all of a sudden, this alarm starts blaring inside the RV. And I'm like, what the heck? I was about to turn the key on when this alarm starts blaring. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I thought, why is the smoke detector going off? It's what it sounded like. It was loud. It was beeping. It's loud beeping noise. And so I go up to the smoke and I walk past the kitchen area to look at the smoke detector, and I suddenly realize the noise is behind me. I'm like, what the heck? Because the smoke, so let me show you. Here's our smoke detector up here. I'm standing here and the noise is behind me. I'm like, what the heck? And so down here, let me get down here for you. See that little green light down there? That was red today and making a lot of noise. So I hit the mute button. Poor Zeffy didn't know what to make of the noise, and she's like, she couldn't run very far because she was already buckled in. For some reason, that's the noise, that's the alarm that goes off when there is a gas leak from the LPG tank inside the RV. So if something for the gas cooker and stuff, so if there's a gas leak from that, and I'm like, okay, I haven't had the gas cooker on for about a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. The gas is the last thing. I always check that the propane is turned off every time we go to get into the RV. It's one of the last things I check on my checklist. And as I do my final walk around, I make sure the jacks are up, and I go down the passenger side, around the back, make sure the jacks are up, make sure the lockers are locked, that can lock. Walk around the front, checking everything, making sure the sides have all in, the awnings have rolled in correctly and everything else. Then the very last thing I do is there is a locker outside the door, which the door opens behind the door if you have the door open, and it doesn't lock. And you open that up, and that's where the propane tank is. And I always open up that one because by that stage after walking around the RV, I don't want to bend over and check another jack. And I can actually, hey, you do not tug on the chair. Go get your toy. And so I opened up the locker and I can see the jack that's on the passenger side. And so I opened up the locker, checked the jack, that was fine. Looked at the valve. And you can't tell whether it's open or closed by looking at it. You actually have to turn it. So I turned it in the on direction to make sure it was off, and then turned it back to the off direction completely. And everything was fine. It's what it normally is. And so I come back, and so that's my very last thing I always do before we leave anywhere. That's my last outside check. And so for some reason, this alarm had gone off. And I was like, what the heck? And so I threw open the window over the kitchen sink, the window behind me. We've got these in-ceiling fans. There's one here and there's one in the bathroom. Through that, and I usually have them open when I'm traveling. I don't have them open when the AC is on, except the one in the bathroom. But I have them on when I'm traveling to help pull air through the RV, and so it doesn't get so hot inside. Because you can actually drive with the generator on and have the AC going, but I'm just sort of like, that's a 1/4 gallon every hour. Yeah, we're up the front there. We've got the AC from the engine. We're good. But these help keep the air moving through the RV. And so I threw that one open, put it on high, went into the bathroom, turned that one up on high, and by the time I'd done that, the light had gone from red to green. But I also noticed in the bathroom that there was almost like a burning electrical smell, so I might have to get the generator checked. And it had a pre-trip check back in January when I had the RV service in preparation of for the road trip, and it was done the week before we about 4 days before we left, 5 days before we left. They did the pre-trip check for me. So the generator was checked, the engine was checked, all the batteries were checked, all the levelers were checked, all of the fluids were checked as part of a pre-trip check thing that they had. So I don't know why there was an electrical burning smell that I could smell in the bathroom, but it's gone. It hasn't come back, and I'm kind of scared to turn the generator on again. It wasn't there the last time it got turned on, so not sure what's going on with that. So we eventually got on the road, and I think it was 12:30 by the time we got on the road. 12:15. Hang on. I even started a new journal today. Yes. Started a new journal today. Let's see. Yeah, we got on the road at 12:15. And we actually drove all the way through till just after 2:30 when we got to the rest area, and which meant we had to drive up to Atlanta around the 285 back up to the 75, and then further up onto the 75 north to get to the rest area. Between Forsyth and where we were at the rest area, that is the only rest area between Forsyth and Tennessee. And so we drove, so I was quite proud of myself. I did over 2 hours of driving before we got to that thing. And we even had had the most traffic I have encountered on this entire trip. So even though we left in February, we left February 6th, we had the most traffic that we have ever encountered anywhere. There was a lot of traffic today. And I mean, even going through some of the cities and stuff that we've been through, and we were leaving some mornings and stuff, and we didn't encounter the amount of traffic that we encountered today. And as we got close to where the 275, the 285 and the 75 hooked back up again, there was notice saying the two right lanes were blocked. There was an accident up ahead. So of course I pulled out my CB radio and I got it turned on, listening to the truckers going backwards and forwards. Man, those truckers can curse up a storm, which kind of made me laugh, because then I was thinking back to the fun fact of this morning that when you're playing tennis at Wimbledon, you're not allowed to swear when you're on the court. So all the line judges have to learn curse words in every single language out there. And I was talking this morning about making up your own language, and how my word when I was younger was fudgewaja. That was my damn it word, fudgewaja. Very chocolatey sounding, so you kind of felt better after saying it. Can you tell I was a chocoholic? I even made up a curse word that included chocolate. Go figure. There's just something screwy up here. So we finally got back onto the 75, got to the rest area. The rest area was packed of people and trucks, and they had a lot of truck bays there, which I can understand since I don't remember where the last rest area is before that when you're heading north. There's one before you get to Forsyth, but I think it was like, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and have a look at my notes, because I know we stopped at one on the way up before we got to Forsyth. So between there and Forsyth there was nothing. That was the first truck thing. So we stopped there for about 20 minutes, had something to eat and drink, and then carried on the way. Got here just after 4 o'clock. So overall, it was a really good drive. A lot of rain. We had the wipers going, and we had to have them on high speed a couple of times, and we slowed down when we got to those where the rain was coming down so hard you could barely see in front of you. And people, you need to turn your lights on when you are driving in the rain. Daylights don't put your tail lights on. So when you are a white vehicle in a downpour, I almost ran one over today in the downpour, but luckily I knew that there was a white vehicle ahead of me somewhere, because he was going slower than the other traffic, and I could see him coming up before the downpour started. So I slowed down and ended up almost right on his tail, because he did not have his lights on. He may have had his day running lights on, but he didn't have his headlights on, so therefore his tail lights were not on. You couldn't see him. So in downpours like that, it is so important that yes, you may have day running lights, but putting your headlights on is more for the people behind you, so they don't go and ram you up the rear end. And there were a ton of trucks on the roads today. There was a lot of trucks. Most trucks I've seen on the road this entire trip. That's why the radio was really good to listen to when we're stuck in traffic for, I think we're only stuck in that traffic for like about 15 minutes, which wasn't too bad. 4 miles, 15 minutes, not too bad by the time when we hit the end of it. It was really cool. They actually had you slowing down speed as you got closer to the traffic jam area. So we got here. This is a great campground. We're parked between the trees. I actually have a tree right outside my window here, which means I can't put the awning out, so I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see it from this angle. We'll do some photos and I'll do it live later on. We haven't been for a walk around here. But they give you information when you turn up. And this was really cool. So here's another fun fact for you. They say, welcome campers. Awesome, love it when they start the way like that. Tonight, probably for the first time in your life, you will sleep on a Civil War battlefield. I'm like, yeah, I haven't slept on one of those yet. Over 100 years ago, okay, they probably need to update that. Men fought and died on the very soil where this holiday travel park is located. During your stay, you'll we will offer you a brief trip through the pages of history which were written here. So they actually have a, oh hang on, it talks about it in a second. In the southwest corner of the park stands a monument to the 84th Indiana Volunteer Regiment. The monument was placed here after the Civil War by some of the men of that regiment who became famous for their fighting in the Chattanooga area. On the north-south streets are named for Civil War officers. The streets at the north end are for the Union commanders, and the streets at the south end are named for the Confederate generals. Most of these officers participated in the combat around Chattanooga. The other street names are named for Civil War battles. So I know they've got Shiloh, Gettysburg, and Bull Run are those 3 roads. A free Civil War video presentation courtesy of the National Park Service is available upon request to be viewed in the club room. The club room is not closed. The dog park is closed. It's in the pool, but the club room is not. So just thought you'd like to know that. There's another little bit of fun fact for you. Yes, they've closed the dog park. It's the first one I've come across where the dog park's closed. But I'll show you out the window here. They have this massive, this is actually a tent site area out here. And it goes all the way around the corner there, and you can't quite see because, oh, and I have to show you while I'm here, this is our mishap for the day. See how the blind is not down the bottom there? Where this tear's always been there, but for some reason today it chose to get unstuck and it got jammed up in the thing, so the blind actually rises. So it's now jammed in the down position. I got it untangled and everything else, but now it is, I've got it down, and I went to wind it back up again to try and reset it. It will not go up, it will not go down, it won't go anywhere. It's one you have to have the motor on to have it running. So now I have to find a service person that can come out while we're here at the park and fix it, because we can't drive with it like that. And I'm not even sure how to attempt to even fold it up, because there's a couple of bars behind it that fold up. And then you get all the blind material. So I'm going to have to figure that one out this week. Thankfully I'm here a week and I'm not leaving tomorrow. So here's some Chattanooga history for you. Chattanooga comes from the Creek Indian word meaning rock coming to a point. It was founded by the Chief John Ross at what is now Ross's Landing in the early 1800s. Chattanooga is the home of the first Coca-Cola bottling plant in the world. Chattanooga is the home of several civil battles. Chattanooga is the home of several Civil War battle sites which are located throughout the area. And Chattanooga was first explored by DeSoto in 1540. So there's some Chattanooga fun facts for you. So we've had a delicious nap. Oh, it was good. Zeffie didn't want to get up, and she was behind me, so it was really hard to try and get her to get out from behind me. Because normally when I take a nap, I lie diagonally across the bed. And so she'd gone behind me between the body pillows and me. And now she's full of energy and wants to go run it off. So now we've got to go for a walk. But we'll take you on a walk around the campsite tomorrow when it's a little cooler, because it's hot outside. But it's nice. We've got little picnic tables here. The utilities are very close, not like the last park where they were like 15 feet away from the RV, because we had to use because my hose is a 20-foot long hose. My cable is 20 feet long. And my sewer, I had the 20-foot connection out, almost fully stretched to get to the sewer. So yeah, so the utilities for this place, for this site, are a lot closer than they were yesterday. But tomorrow, when it's a little more lighter, because it's pretty gloomy out there right now, we'll take you for a walk around the park. So it's actually pretty cool here. I kind of like it. But yeah, I've got to arrange for my mail to get sent here while I'm here, so I can catch up on all my mail. Yay! And I know there's going to be a lot of mail that's going to be coming out. So as long as I've got it here by Friday, we'll be good. And I've already let the office know that it's going to be arriving this week as well. They said normally if you're only here for overnights, we don't normally accept mail here. And I said, well, if this is coming from my mail place, I'll have it here before I leave on Monday. And it's got to be here by Friday because we're into Memorial Weekend after that. So I will call them up tomorrow and actually ask them to have it here by Thursday. So if there is a day hold up, it's a day's grace. And they can also deliver it on Saturday as well. Anyway, so that's it from us for today. It's been a very action-packed filled day, even though we were just driving from one point to the other. I think we did like 174 miles today. So, I think it was 174. So we didn't do too bad, considering the fact that we had pouring rain where we couldn't see at times. We had the traffic jam, but that was only 15 minutes. Despite all the traffic on the road and the alarm at the Walmart that went off in the RV here, and now a blind not working, it's been a super fantastic sparkling day because, you know, these things just happen. It's okay. We got here safely, and that's all that matters. And we're set up, and we're in place for a week, so we've got the time to get the blind fixed. And I wonder if there's any hair places open, because look at this. Maybe I'll just take some scissors to my fringe, my bangs. Is it bangs you guys call them over here? We call them fringes in New Zealand. So it's looking pretty bushy, and I feel like a sheep that needs shearing. I feel like I've got a woolen blanket on my head. It's hot. But anyway, that's it from us for tonight. We will catch you guys tomorrow for your morning challenges and for your daily challenges. We may even do it while we do a walk around the park in the morning. Or we may do a separate one around the park tomorrow. Who knows? Let's see what we feel like in the morning. I think I have a full day tomorrow. So I might do 2 in one go. But right now I have to take a very energetic dog with some energy to burn for a walk. But unfortunately, we can't take her to the dog park and let her off the leash, because she would really burn some energy that way. But then she'll come back in here and she'll do her crazy run anyway, so it all works out in the end. So have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow morning with your challenges of the day. He konera.